Hi, how are you? Welcome, everyone. I'm Patty Wilson. This is Patty's Playhouse, Sunday afternoon. Sorry for the canceled show the other day. I thought I could make it to the courthouse on time, but could not. We didn't know that there was going to be a hearing for Donna Adelson until that day, and I hadn't looked at the docket. And the only reason I knew about it is I got an email saying that the one local TV station could not be the pool. So I'm on the media list. So that's how I found out about it. But there was no way I could make it in time. I have been very busy, grateful busy, but very busy. This weekend, I was able to participate as a judge, parade judge, which was so much fun. Hard to come back to work today for the Springtime Tallahassee parade, which is our largest parade of the year. And it was done, I think the parade is 57 years old. It's handled by the organization called Springtime Tallahassee. They have large floats, like the semi-truck size floats. And what was amazing about it is years ago, Tallahassee had to prove that it could be the capital and why it was the capital. And I guess Miami or Orlando thought they should be the capital. So 57 years ago, they had this parade, and it helped seal the deal that we are the capital of Florida. And a friend of mine, her name's Susie Mazolik, and she's a funeral director with Beavis Funeral Homes. And I tease her, I'm like, you've buried everybody. They're very, very popular here. And she invited me to be a judge. So I was one of 3 judges, and it was a secret until this weekend. And it was a blast. We had so much fun. It was I told them, like, nobody knows the backstory of this organization, how they put on the parade, how large the parade is. We had to judge 70 contributors, so 70 participants of the float. Not easy. I'm horrible at making a decision. I was not the chief judge. They're like, who wants to be the chief? Like the final? No, not me. I gave everyone 100. I was very horrible at it. It was so much fun. I really did enjoy it. And it was an honor to be there. We had to be there at 7 o'clock yesterday morning till like 3. Then I came back to the office, did some work. Then they had a big, what they call a crash party, where all the participants out of town, and they call them crews, Krews. So the big crews came to this party, hundreds of people at the Moon here in Tallahassee. That was dressed to the nines. Breakfast was dressed. It was top notch. It was absolutely, I had no idea. Friday morning, we were invited. It was optional, but we were invited to go to what's called a teddy bear run. I didn't even know this event existed, and I feel like I'm in the know for Tallahassee. I had no idea. And it was 350 disabled students, whether it was physical, mental, emotional, Down syndrome, autism, like every child, every format, everything you could imagine. Leon County Schools bused them to this high school stadium called Gene Cox. It's over by the fairgrounds. All of these out of town groups came. Like one group came from Minnesota, Tampa, Bradenton, Braden, Panama City, Fort Walton, Destin, all of these adult organizations that run their own local parades come to the stadium. They set up games. They had a band there that was made of children that graduated from this school, Gretchen Everhart. Absolutely great. And we handed out teddy bears. Like, how could you not love that? I had no words by the end of the day. I was floored by the organizational skills, the logistics, the fun the kids had. They all got a bag. They all got a teddy bear. They all got paraphernalia from each of the organizations. It was 3 hours of awe, absolute awe. Then we had lunch, got to meet more of the crews. Then we had presentations from our 3 organizations within Springtime that presented to us. Those parade floats were incredible. The winner, I'm see if I can pull up a video later. The winner was the 20th century. So the parades are broken into eras. So the Spanish era, when Florida was, owned by the Spanish. Then there was the territorial era, which they did shamrocks and shenanigans because the Irish were given large tracts of land when Florida was just a territory because they procreate. I was like, this is hilarious because so many of the Irish were Catholic, they just gave birth, right? So that was, they needed to promulgate the land. They needed citizens to become a state. And at first it was 30,000 citizens, and then Congress changed it to 40,000. So they needed the Catholics. I was laughing. They needed the Catholics to come down and breed so that Florida could become a state. So that was funny. And then the 20th century. That place, that float, I got to pull up. It won. Like, it was a perfect score. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you, but it was a perfect score. And so a lot of people don't know that FSU has a circus. 1947, the circus, FSU Circus, was developed because FSU, Florida State University, was primarily a female. It was only a female school. And in 45, 46, 47, they transferred to be co-ed. And they needed an event, a sporting event that men could also enjoy. So they came up with a circus. Haskins was the first person. He was the vice president of school. Haskins was the first one to develop the circus. Last year, May 10th, we had tornadoes that come through town. And the circus tent at FSU school was demolished. And so what do? They rebuild it. And it was in the student run. So the students train the other students. The students run the shows. The students take the tickets. And it's acrobats and dancers and skaters and trapeze and marionettes and all of this stuff. So this 20th century era of Springtime Tallahassee has a float that they take down every year. They take it down to the studs and then rebuilt it. But because FSU Flying School, the circus, was torn down, they asked Chad, the current director of the Flying Circus, if they could partner with them and use their float to celebrate the Flying Circus. I got to find some photos for you. It was absolutely, hold on, let's see if I can find some. I took my own, but I don't even know if I can even oh, there's my video. My video, man. Hold on one second. Let me find a photo of it, of the circus. I may have to bring it up later after what I'm talking about is done here, because it had ropes on it. It had everything. Trapeze, floats, marionettes. If you could think about this thing having something, it was on there. And I made a video, but anyway, they won, and it was, let's see if I can find it. Oh, anytime I put in Tallahassee right now, guess who shows up? That Donna Adelson. It's not even funny. The whole event. If you ever are local and you want an organization to join, we were invited, which was really nice. the people, because there's some kids that go to school that could not be transported on a bus, right? So they took tagged photos. They didn't put the photos up. And they only have last year's photo. What is wrong? What have they been doing all day? They had guys in these marionettes, guys in these floats, guys in these. Here we go. Here's the Tallahassee photos. This group came from Mobile, these bells. They better show them. Of course not. They had a Filipino group that had three different presentations. Oh, there's my face. Nobody needs that. Hold on. This is the bell. This is the group from Mobile. These girls were absolutely beautiful. They look like flowers. It was just incredible. It was such an honor. It really was. Look at that. There were probably 60 of those girls that traveled from Mobile, and they had their prom the day before. It was incredible. So I'll bring up some photos later and talk to you about it. But I wanted to apologize of like scheduling it, and hold on one second. I have a client that says he's not well right now. Hold on. Can I call you in a little while? Client says he wanted to speak to the nurse part of me, so let me see if he responds. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for him to respond. I should be like 911. Call the doctor. There we go. He responded. Okay. He said I could call him later. Okay. So let me say hi to everyone. I emailed those videos to myself, so I'll be able to pull them up in a second. How is everyone? Good? It's an odd time of year right now, I feel like. I'm not a big fan of March. Just not. Does anyone else hate March as much as me? I mean, I shouldn't say I hate March, but it's just like a blah month. It's just like we're just trying to get through it to get to spring. It's like that placeholder. It's odd. And it rains almost every Sunday here right now. We need the rain though. Florida's short like 3.5, 4 inches. That's what he said. Couldn't help it. Sorry, people. Could not help it. Florida is short. So I have a little bit of information to all give you. Little background. Again, I'm Patty Wilson, and this is Patty's Playhouse. And I started this show November 2023, immediately after Charlie Adelson was convicted of the murder of Dan Markel. And he was convicted of the murder, even though he didn't shoot the person. This is a little education for all of us, is that you don't have to shoot someone in Florida to be convicted of murder. You just have to plan it and be part of a conspiracy. You don't have to be present. You don't have to go pow pow or pew pew or hold the weapon. You don't have to. And he was convicted of not holding the weapon, but of convicted of the murder, the conspiracy of the murder, and planning of the murder. Paying for the murder. So Dan Markel was killed here in Tallahassee. And around that time, I've been watching the whole process since Dan was murdered. As a real estate agent, I try to stay abreast of everything. I didn't have my Facebook group, Living Tallahassee, which, by the way, made not for good reasons because it's all about shootings, but we were in USA Today the other day. And some people say, I do this for attention. Well, I don't do the community group for attention. I do it because others wouldn't or couldn't or didn't think of it. I have friends that run community groups across the country, and so I thought I would do it because I'm not from here. And I wanted to learn more about Tallahassee. When you're selling something, to me, it's important to learn about it. So I started this group, but that was, several years before. And shootings at that time in 2014 were not prevalent. And certainly not in leafy, as they say, well-established, beautiful neighborhoods with wealthy people in them. Pseudo-wealthy. I'm like upper middle class. It just didn't happen. So it was all a shock. And you see people throughout my chat and other YouTube say the same thing. If you were here for any length of time, you hear it. It just doesn't happen. So then it was, our police is very radio silent when things like this occur. You don't know. I've talked about, and I know Murder by Maestro is here in the chat. He's talked about it for Henry Segura. And there's an update on that as well, which I'll get to in a second. Henry Segura was a man who annihilated his family, his former lover, his mistress, say. They had a child together. That child was drowned, and then 2 children were stabbed to death. We didn't know about that one for a full year. And then it took forever for him to go to trial. And you just didn't know. That entire neighborhood, the property values sank. There was no stigma for one home. There's a stigma for the whole area. Because no one knew. Was it gangs? We didn't know. They just didn't know anything. And it was around the same time. It's just a couple of years before this. So the police department, I give them credit for not a lot of leaks, but they had no leaks. So then it came out that there was a Prius. They released that information. Then it came out that the Prius, one of the mirrors, side view mirrors, wasn't painted. And eventually, one led to another. It's like this whole trail of cracker crumbs. Turns out, which makes perfect sense, the ex-wife's family had a lot to do with it, right? So people are tried, people are convicted. Charlie goes up, Charlie goes down. We're all watching it. We're like, ooh, Charlie's going to trial. We're going. Post-COVID, let's go to trial. Everybody wants to go to see a trial. So I met people. I wanted to go. I didn't know anyone. I was very nervous just even being there. I was sitting there. You'll see me in the courtroom on court TV, and I'm just sitting there like this. Because you couldn't smile, you couldn't blink. It's none of this Karen Reed shit going on in a courtroom. And so they said, anybody wants to go to Tim Jansen's office, who I was familiar with, to go get a book signed by Ruth Markel, feel free to go. I was like, oh, okay, I'll go. Because I have a lot of first edition books that are signed by the authors. It's just the thing I enjoy doing. So I went. And I met some other YouTubers there. And the first person who was nice to me and introduced himself was John Steinbeck. He's the brother of Carl Steinbeck. Didn't know who they were. I mean, I didn't know anyone but Tim Jansen. And people ask me questions like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just here to get a book signed. Ms. Markel wasn't there yet. They said, well, there's a podcast going on in the one office that you want to go watch. I was like, sure. Killing time till, and I just remembered this right now, till Ms. Markel was ready. I was like, okay. Meantime, I ain't gonna lie. I left my husband in the parking lot. He didn't want to go in. So I was in there by myself. I sat in the car for a while. Monica Jordan, who's the PI, I knew of her. Jansen's PI. I was like, oh my God, that's Monica Jordan. Like, to me, she's a rock star. So she's like waving, come on in. She's so pleasant. John Steinbeck's like, go back, watch this. There's Stephen Webster on this STS. I didn't know what STS was. I didn't know anything. John Steinbeck says, what do you do? I said, I'm a real estate agent. What else do you do? I said, well, I have a Facebook group. And that time we had 35,000. He goes, you have 30, we go through this whole thing. You have 35,000. Yeah, I have 35,000, 35,000. Then he goes, where are you from? And I said, Pennsylvania. He goes, she's from Pennsylvania. Kathleen Monkman. I was like, oh, I'll be pleasant. I'm in a social situation. Go introduce myself to her. The woman did an about face and walked away from me. I was like, well, she's a bitch. That was my first thought. I was like, okay, time. The book comes. Miss Markel was so polite, answered my questions. I just was like, I just loved that the Markel boys called him Abba. There was just things about it I was just curious about. Jewish faith, and I'm very Catholic. The correlations between the two. We talked about other things besides Dan, because I didn't want to be like, hey, tell me about, no. And then I left. That was it. People stayed long time. Fine. That was my first YouTube experience. Kind of went downhill after that, right? So, a year later, I managed it through. Learning curve all the way. Donna's trial comes up. Donna's trial goes down. Rash bomb is horrible and useless. Costs us money. Cost Donna, could have wrecked the whole thing, right? I mean, could have been a mistrial. Could have. I'm pissed. Dan Rashbaum sucked. He sucked for the whole process. The contributory side of it. I mean, he really could have just destroyed justice for Dan, right? Because that's what it's about. Justice for Dan. I hear people because I listen, and he goes up in the elevator with one of the subscribers that I have, who I've met since, Rebecca, and starts saying, I'm quitting. And Donna doesn't even know it. I'm like, he said, what? I'm quitting, and Donna doesn't even know it. That's what she told me. I said, not only did that, but he did the conflict. It goes on and on and on about Dan Rashbaum. Then you hear people, I'm turning him in. No one turned him in. I turned him in. For some reason, that pissed off YouTube. Why would you all care? You're not guilty of being as stupid as he is. But for some reason, it pissed off a slew of people. This witch, Kathleen Monkman, rude to everyone, rude to the jurors, calls them out, addresses them as if they're less than human, was pissed. Why? Why say you? Well, I just found out she was pissed because she wrote a letter to Judge Everett about the size of the courtroom. Conflate much. One has nothing to do with the other. I didn't even know because I don't watch her because she's mean. She was mean to me. Why would I watch her show? Like, I don't spend time with people who are not nice to me. And then I don't feel like I can be respectful to. So I just don't spend time with you. Call it a character flaw, okay? All you want. I was like, I just found that out. What? Why would you care? One has nothing to do with the other. She says, I copied her. Are you 12? Not 12. Older than me, but still. I got nothing on it. It kind of went downhill from there for me. to the point of Kathleen, I like to call her, has her knickers twisted on a daily damn basis about other people that she cannot control. She can't control me because I don't care what she thinks. She can't control really anyone. She can't control her chat. I mean, she's just a mean person. She was mean to her chat. She was mean to Debbie Martin. Debbie Martin provided gifts. I gave the gifts after the trial was canceled. That didn't go well. She's like, bad juju. I'm like, are you insane? Yes. Yeah. Okay. You are. Fine. You're insane. Moving on. I have work to do. I'm a broker and an appraiser. And believe it or not, don't rely on YouTube for my income. So this is just kind of a hobby. I enjoy it. I enjoy the people. I enjoy the chat. But it went downhill from there even more. People threatened to kill me, threatened my dog. Now people are today, yesterday, the day before, I need receipts that your dog was threatened. Well, I don't give two shits if you need receipts. Some Yahoo that follows this woman, her little minions, said, well, how do we know Patty has cameras up to protect herself? I need receipts. Does she have an invoice? Who are you? Who are you people? And why do you all feel, because you're in a YouTube chat, that you're justified in asking for an income receipt of mine at my office and where my cameras are located? This is how insane Kathleen is and her people. Yesterday was an arson video. I don't watch them. I got people to watch them. I don't need to watch them. I wouldn't give her the view. I taught people how to grab the video, download the video so she doesn't get the view. Because that's what I do. I do technology. I'm not sharing with you where my cameras are, or how much I paid for them, or where the count they're on, or the brand name, because you all are insane and untrustworthy. And I don't know you. I don't owe you a receipt for anything I have to say. You either believe it or you don't. But here's my thing. It even got more twisted in the knickers when Fancy Fiction enters the page. So she's another one. Used to live here in Tallahassee, but decades ago. Yes, to the YouTuber who wants to have a smart mouth. Yes, she can concentrate on she doesn't have to live here. But I do live here. But she diminishes other YouTubers and said, we're just inserting ourselves because she's the OG. Girl, you have a big surprise coming for you. Very large. I'm not done. This witch comes out with a big mouth, says I have a DUI, don't have a DUI, says I'm a felon, not a felon, don't even have a speeding ticket. I was arrested once in 2006, which was part of a domestic issue post-divorce. Not for cyber stalking. Again, if you're going to call out someone for a crime, read the actual crime. It was about computer use and it was a password. And I didn't even get the password illegally. If you call someone a felon and you don't retract it, that is slander. If you and then this other woman, Kathleen Monkman, speak together about it, conspire, correlate, choreograph, whatever the word you want to use, make you feel better, then it just makes it easier for me in a court of law. Keep it up. It gets better than that. So Fancy Fiction is this girl who likes to hide behind a screen, I would say, for attention, who wants to be uber mysterious. We'll call her Erin. Erin is now saying I've doxed her. Giving your real name is not doxing, especially when multiple other people in the world have your name, right? It's not doxing. Telling them where you live would be doxing, and I haven't done that. Not that I haven't told people that need to know where you live. I've done that because I think that's important for them, because they've also been threatened by you. So I think that is important. I think it's imperative that people know who they're dealing with. And I happen to be very good at research. Fancy and Kathleen, Aaron, have taken upon themselves to ask other people, demand, extort, bribery, whatever word you want, to take down videos they didn't create, Reddit, subreddit, threads they didn't create. Otherwise, their children would be at risk. You think I'm kidding? I wasn't kidding about the decapitation video. I wasn't kidding about my dog being threatened. I wasn't kidding about I'm not a felon. I wasn't kidding about any of this. If you are threatening someone's child, let me go back. This witch, Kathleen Monkman, otherwise known as Katie Cool Lady, she's the opposite of cool, has said to her tribe that I have mentioned her stepdaughter and showed images of her stepdaughter, which is the biggest lie of all, because it's never happened. I didn't even know she had a stepdaughter until she said that. I don't watch a show. I don't care. What I have said is the mother of this child is insane for letting you be near her. And I mean it. I can't imagine that that woman knows everything about you the way I know about you. Your brother isn't the one who has the problem. It's you, Kathleen. Show me a video where I mentioned that child until I've never mentioned her name. You can't. These two working together will post a video, take it down, post a video, take it down, edit it, take it down. They have created so many alternate profiles that I have found it's really scary. Very scary. I'm not going to disclose how I found them, but just let you know they leave little breadcrumbs all around. Things that are said, the two of them. They end up in chats. They end up mods for themselves. They end up mods in Reddit. They end up everywhere. These little name breadcrumbs. Some of us are really busy, right? I'm very busy. It's rares that I'm not busy. And these little clues, while I'm spending time knowing who's watching what I write or say or do, is not paranoia, because we have receipts. So when you call someone on the phone or you write to them and say, if you don't do this, let's just say your child might be at risk. Your relationship with your child might be at risk. Your custodial relationship might be at risk. And then come out days later and say, I'm just a bully. No. Today I was called a gladiator, and I will take that very nicely. Thank you. I don't know why I have a bigger mouth than other people. I don't know why I don't care what you think about me. I really don't. But what I do care is when you go after someone's child. I'm a beast. I watched 350 kids get treats. They are the most frail children I had no idea there were 350 kids like that in our school district. No one knows. It was incredible. The two of them projecting onto us, Justice for Dan, YouTubers, whatever it is, when they themselves are doing these horrible things, really should be on watch. They've gone after Allison, my father's alibi. They've gone after Rochelle from Crime and Coffee. They're going after Jibs and Jab. They literally, this fancy lady, anything but. She's drab. She's obnoxious. She has a monotone voice that is just, you couldn't possibly get lady. You couldn't possibly. She goes on her Patreon because it's not working anywhere else. And she asked her Patreon followers. Let me start with that one. Let me get it, see if I can get it up. She asked with her Patreon, my hands are shaking, by the way, because I'm so upset. She wants her Patreon people to take us down. For fancy fiction, there isn't enough. What day was that? Let me find it. I have to find the lady who sent it to me. Hold on. It was one of her subscribers, which I will not name her. Hold on one second. I'm going to cut and paste this. Put it on a doc so that you don't see the person that sent it to me. But one of her Patreon person was like, Patty, you should see this. So this is that heifer's letter to me. Let me make sure her name isn't in here. Okay. I wish I could talk about other things besides people who are just so spineless. Let me make the font bigger. Okay, from Patreon, please help me, 5 to 10 minutes of your time. This has gone too far. Report hate, bullying, and harassment on Reddit and YouTube. I hate asking for a favor like this and wouldn't ask if I didn't need it. I may be able to stop this abuse if I can get enough people to do it. These are two platforms, Reddit and YouTube, where most of the abuse, lies, and intimidation takes place. Report them. These are memes using my photos, screenshots. It's the opposite. She takes my shit. Posts taken out of context and lies about me. My real name is being used. Please help. Aaron Rickards. A report to Reddit. Reddit rules are being broken by this hate. Try not to laugh. Remember the human. Reddit is a place for creating community and belonging, not for attacking marginalized. Has she not read Reddit? Vulnerable groups of people. Everyone has a right to use Reddit free of harassment. Have you read it? It's really, really the dregs of society in a lot of threads. I think ours is tame. Respect the privacy of others. Instigating harassment, for example. This is a woman who supposedly runs an HR organization, who trains people how not to be harassed or how to harass. I don't even really know because her website's gone. I don't even know if the business is really, it's active on Secretary of State, so it's hard to say. But anyway, you can cut the link here. This is run and moderated by Patty Wilson of Patty's Playhouse. The subreddit violates Rule 1 and Rule 3, says she, because now she's a Reddit analyzer. Don't even know. You don't need to log in to have an account. You just can, like, just report. And we have had massive reporting lately. Massive. It's okay. We keep approving it. It's not happening. Submit a Reddit report. I want to report a Reddit for violating KCL Detention Center. What is the primary reason? Harassment or hate? Why is she sticking up for this one? Oh, that's because they talk all the time. They said they don't talk all the time, but they do talk all the time. The subreddit were created. It was Aaron, for the sole purpose of maligning and harassing this creator who ended up deleting her YouTube channel. Who? What? Why did she delete it? Oh no, she didn't delete it because we harassed her. She probably, no one asked her to delete. Why would we ask her to delete? Who cares? People just don't like how they're treated. They're going to respond. You have to be open to that. Oh, but you're not, are you? Accusing her of being a narcissist, abusing her puppy with a shock collar, except we have receipts. Committing fraud. And a whole host of harmful and unflattering posts to mock, harass, and bully. Welcome to social media. This group of people were bonded over tearing private people down. You're not private if you have a YouTube channel. You know why I know this to be true? Kathleen Monkman was on the media list for Charlie Adelson's trial. You're not on the media list because you sent it to the courthouse. Think about all this. You have to show that you're media. You're media when you say you're media because you have a YouTube channel. That's what was on that list. I wonder if I can find it. I think I can. I think it was on my other one. Media Pass application. Media Pass request. Let me see. I know she was on it because my name was on it. Came from the courthouse. Isn't that amazing? So you're not a private person at that point. Otherwise, then I'm private. And I'm certainly not private because I know better. Oh my God, just constant name calling, unfounded accusations with criminal implications. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Again, report to YouTube. Doxes. You mean doxed? Makes up false applications. But do I? Threatens. Do I threaten or do I just do it? To hurt and demean. Is it demeaning to call you out for your words and your actions? Is it demeaning? I think it's the opposite. Uses AI to create, oh, now here's where she goes after jibs and jabs. The funniest thing ever is jibs and jabs. Follow it. Uses AI to create others' voices. It's your voice is so flat. It just leads to, humor. Putting faces of private people on animated bodies. This is where she should keep her mouth shut. She is literally doing and violating the YouTube terms of service when she posts something like that, even on Patreon. It's not legal in the YouTube world. She also did it in her last, her 5-month hiatus. I had to think. I had to be out there drunk. Wait, let me do it. Where's my book? I'm going to I must be out of the drama. I must be out of the drama. And yet, your first show back after 5 months, the world was so excited. You complain about jibs and jabs and Jib's humor. Jibs is causing harm. What kind of harm is it causing you? Did she lie about you? Did she call you a felon? Did she threaten a non-existent child because you don't have one? What did she do? She key your car? What did she do? Nothing. She made fun of you. You're not a private person. You're on Surviving the Survivor. You talk. You're not private. Then this heifer literally wrote that I'm helping a murderer. Why is that? Because I gave her real name out? I'm going to give you your real name out when you, part of the triad, even though you talk about it to each other every day, and you believe that Rob Myers didn't commit a crime because Kathleen Monkman told you he didn't commit a crime. Rob Myers is the other third leg of the triad. I came up with that after this whole fiasco, childish behavior came down. Come to find out, they're just jealous. Instead of finding their own niche, sticking with their own audience, and doing what they did best to get where they are, they have more followers than I do. They have more, je ne sais quoi. They were more famous in their own mind and outside of their own mind than I was. Then why do you care what I say or do? I don't want you. Why do you watch me? You can hate watch me all you want, but why do you care? No one has ever been able to tell me that. You've gone after other individual YouTubes to the point of trying to take them down by copyright. That's how insidious they are. It just doesn't, I just don't understand it. It's like they're Turtle Boy without the charm. It's all come down to this. The biggest problem isn't calling me a felon, a DUI person, I don't even know what that is, a drunk, when I barely, if ever, drink at all, never behind the wheel, a cyber stalker, convicted of it, whatever that is. You went after someone's child who doesn't even have a YouTube. You went after her before that. Her name is Mia Wallace. That's not her real name. She's on YouTube. I don't know where she lives. I don't know her real name. But this poor woman followed KCL and FF, hook, line, and sinker until she didn't. I don't know what happened. I don't really remember because my brain is too clouded with work to handle all of that nonsense. It just would be too much for me right now. For whatever reason, Mia, several months ago, went out on her Instagram and said, I figured it out. They were no one that I should have defended or spent time on. And they hurt me. Well, this is the thing. You don't come out against these two. You suffer the consequences if you do. I've never seen anything like it in my adultness. Like, I've never seen, since I've turned 18. I was in the military. I worked in a hospital. I worked with women, nurses. I've been a real estate agent. It's not cutthroat. These two women are cut your throat. You go after your kid. I guess sometime in 2024, after Charlie's trial, Kathleen didn't have anything to do. So she started this YouTube series called the Anxiety Recovery Series. In this Anxiety Recovery Series, this woman is a former masseuse. She let her license lapse. She's a former nurse who became an imposter nurse, who said, I was an imposter nurse. I almost forgot that one. So much so she got called out. And if you Google Kathleen Monkman, immediately shows up on the Arizona Board of Nursing that she was an imposter. And she admitted it in a phone call. Didn't even need an investigation. She admitted it. Again, projection for other people, right? So she took it upon herself to help people. I'm sure in her heart, I have to try and believe that, because otherwise she's just psychotic. She was going to help people recover from anxiety. She did this MFR, this myofascia, something. There's a lot of iffy things going on with that. And some people believe in it, some people don't. Some people are licensed in it, some people aren't. At the time, Kathleen didn't have a license in anything. Both licenses had expired or had been taken or gone away or whatever the issue was. Don't know. She didn't have a current license. She never had a license in Pennsylvania, and she'd moved away from Tempe, Arizona, years after she decided to do this. She hadn't lived there in a long time. Sold her property there and moved to Pennsylvania. Lewisburg area and north. I mean, doesn't matter. She didn't have a license. I've checked. Didn't have a history of a license. But she's going to teach people this very specific, very intimate massage. She's not licensed. She wasn't licensed at the time. I have asked people who participated in this recovery series, did you believe she was a medical person? That she had medical specialty? Yes. The majority said yes. Did you give her your personal information? Some said yes, some said no. Just one person, Mia, again, not her real name. I don't know her name. I don't want to know. Gave her very much personal information, unfortunately for her. It's 2024. This woman, who implies that she's a medical professional, knows what privacy is, didn't uphold it. She gave it to Aaron Rickards, aka Fancy Fiction. She gave her that information. Fancy, and not so long ago, I'm going to show you some graphics and read you some information from Mia. This is not my words, this is hers. Some could use the word bully, extort, coerce, whatever word you want to use, I don't care. Wherever you are, the vernacular may fit that locale. Let's just put it this way. She made sure Mia knew that if she didn't do what she wanted, she would go about and hurt her child. Now, not physically, because she didn't quite know where she lived, but she was going to make sure that she made it difficult for Mia to see her child. I don't know how she thought she was going to do that, because doing this is interfering with the custody of a minor. Is tortious interference in what I've read. I'm not an attorney. I should pull that banner up now, I think. I don't know who or what the fuck these people think they're doing, but they are messing with people's lives. I don't know why larger podcasts have them on and give them 1 ounce of credibility. Not one. You have lied. You have stolen. You've stolen from me because I'm not a felon. You have 9,000 subscribers. You told them I am. You told the witch Kathleen that I was excited about being a felon. That's how stupid and tyrannical you are. You're going after someone's kid. I don't care what happens to you. I hope you fall on your flat face. I hope someone smarter than me, faster than me, takes you down. I really do. Because you're going to mess with the wrong person. I'm across the country from you. But I have spoken to attorneys, and I am going to see what I can do about it. I don't know that I really will afford to be able to do anything. Maybe, maybe not. But I'm not going to stop until I get a final answer. And I want you to know you don't have to be afraid because I am doing it. This is not a threat. You're going after a stranger's child, and you're using the emotion that she has for her child to come after me. It's a big mistake. You're using that emotion she has as a child to go after jibs and jabs. No offense, that's an even bigger mistake. Huger. You don't even realize it. You don't know who that person was. You're about to find out. Even bigger, you're going after a woman whose mother was killed. Why? Because she chooses to talk to us? Are you that lack of self-confidence that you need to be worried about Allison Galvani, whose mother was murdered? That's how little you two really care about justice. You insipid. I have no even word for it. You go after that woman who's a freaking, I know she's very humble. She's a genius. You heifer couldn't get into Yale. The other one couldn't keep a license and then had to lie about it. But you're going to go after her. You're going to go after her job at Yale. Are you all insane? In all of these months, all you had to, not to me, because apologies don't work for me. They just don't. All of these other people, Mia, an apology would have sufficed, not me. Not me ever. I would never accept an apology once you bring someone's kid into it. And you both did it. Fancy is using information that Kathleen Monkman gave to her. How else would she know? I'm talking intimate medical information. Fancy let her know. If I were Kathleen, you should never speak to Fancy again. That's for damn sure. Or you did it on purpose because you knew Fancy had a bigger spine than you have. Your ass might be bigger, but Fancy's spine is bigger. Because she was stupid enough to put it in writing. So right now, I'm going to read to you what Mia gave to me to read to you. Mia really just wants to be a private person and really just didn't want to follow these heifers. Because she doesn't want to. And she shouldn't be forced to do it. Why would you be forced to follow someone on YouTube? Could someone please tell me? Don't subscribe. Calling them out is a crime. Calling them out for their lack of decorum in public is a crime. Or is sending an email telling them if they don't do what you want, that you will interfere and find out where they live and interfere with their child. And then show that woman's photo on your YouTube. She is a private person. She doesn't have a channel and has not shown her voice. She didn't ask for a media request. But no. You had to do that. So now you will get called out. May it be a year, many years, Fancy Fiction, till you ever show your face on YouTube again. And may you and my attorney have a backbone. I hope my attorney, I hope he follows through. I hope. I believe John Laurel's just fucking with you, Aaron, but I hope he isn't. I hope when he's done dealing with Wendy and her insipid asinine behavior, her murderous behavior, he comes and deals with you. Just for fun. This is from Mia. Let me get the images down. Hold on one second. Because without the images, none of this matters, right? I want you to see it big and bright. Mia, please delete the Reddit page you created where you published all your attacks on me and others. Who are the others? Go through your Reddit comments and delete the vicious attacks on me. I'll give you 24 hours to do this. If not, I must defend myself against all the false claims and attacks you have written against me and tell more. Fancy was mistaken. I never created any Reddit pages. I did it, dumbass. So I was not capable of deleting any Reddit pages, as she instructed me to do so. I didn't do, it was actually quite genius of them. KCL, the detention center, because Kathy can't take criticism. I didn't do that. I did Dan Markel justice because people were being blocked, banned, again, just like the detention center, on a monetized subreddit that you created, Fancy. Gibbers, Rares. She has so many names. Really Busy. Just so many names, right? My experiences are not false claim. She goes, and tell you more, especially with any potential custody issue you may or may not have. I think I know the area in which you live and where you are, what you like, and your background. I don't want to. Let me go to the next one. She only gave me a couple. This woman is named Darby, and we believe Darby is Fancy because this profile was created the same day of her video. I think Mia is deeply disturbed. It's scary how she has a group of followers believing every word. I didn't realize she had contacted a lot of other content creators and very lengthy emails to try to befriend them like she tried with you and Kathy. Kathy, not KCL. Kathy. But I can see it. She fawns over everyone's comments in the subreddit. When you describe how intense Mia was with you, I knew exactly what you were feeling. Did you? But I wouldn't show you proof. And her followers just accepted it the way she made your email to sound. She has a child. She doesn't need to show you proof. What I have told Mia is she needs to show law enforcement proof. That's who she needs to show proof. None of these people's minions are entitled to 1 ounce of proof. In fact, it would diminish the evidence that it is, right? These two are in a habit, and she just did it yesterday. Her new PSA, the arson video, dirt and arson, and basically, Patty, watch out. She takes it down shortly after she publishes it. They do this on purpose. They edit on purpose. They think people don't have the data. People have the data. When you describe how intense Mia was with you, I knew exactly what you were feeling. I also think it's weird how she made all these allegations about you. Do you? Do you? I wouldn't show proof. And her followers just accept it. The way she made your email to sound her so different from how explained, but I believe you after seeing many examples of how she twists things in the subreddits. Do we? I can see how she really twisted your words. Do you? I also think she doesn't show proof. Again, do you really want the proof? I wish every bit of it would come out, but unfortunately, law enforcement must take over. She makes allegations because not only will it show she wasn't truthful, what is that? If I don't show some fucking stranger something, it doesn't make it true. I feel bad for her, but she doesn't take ownership of her behavior and how it affects others. Darby has a personal name with, which I won't go into how we figured this out, but just know that there is a personal correlation between the name Darby and fancy fiction, and it's Darby with 2 eyes. But everything has a meaning with these yahoos. That was my dad's word, yahoo. Freaks of nature. You call them whatever you want. Where's the other one? This is to show that Darby's profile was named the same thing, March 22nd, 2025. Darby. This woman has so many profiles. You have to wonder, what the hell does she do all the time? And I know you don't think I'm not giving you everything I know. But IP addresses are a thing. Emails, everything comes with a tag. Everything. And it's not cyber stalking to investigate the shit that I receive about myself. It's not cyber stalking. You can call it whatever you want, but it's not it. If I want to look up before I even open an email, the IP address of who's sending it, I'm allowed. I know how. Why wouldn't you? People want to come and defend your sorry butts, but that's how I feel about them. I feel about anyone who will defend you to at this point is sorry. They are sorry humans. Let me go back to Mia's letter. She has us time streamed. I'll go back to that. Fancy fiction discussing me. Fancy fiction discussing Allison. Fancy fiction discussing Mia. The Darby Y YouTube account, because there's 2 Ys, was created on the same day as Fancy Fiction's live stream. This is not someone who's followed her for a long time or watched her. This is a brand new account. I wonder who would benefit from creating accounts specifically to post outrageous false narrative about Mia. One thing I've learned when people try to Darvo you, since I now know that, thank you to the YouTuber, is that they try to deny and turn around. That's why these two edit. That's why they edit everything. Because they can say they didn't say it. Prove it. Prove that it happened. You need a subpoena to prove it at that point, but I'm happy to try. I will begin with the Darby comment. I intended not to speak on this and would have maintained that position on the 322 live stream, which I'm going to go to. And the continued discussion and conversations in the comments did not continuously fan the flames. And now create a situation where I have to address, not out of concern. Let me make this larger because it's not, and you can't see it. And I want you to see it. I want everyone in this stupid YouTube to see it. But rather, because now someone who stuck their neck out to defend me is being maligned because of that. This has been going on for quite some time now, and I cannot stay silent. I will first get out of the way a few topics that are the source of much confusion. Again, this is Mia Wallace's words. This narrative that everything occurred with me was because Fancy and Katie Kool-Lady unfollowed or blocked me on Instagram. That is incorrect. The truth is that the shit they were saying about me got back to me. And that's what caused my anger. And what made it much worse was the treatment of Allison. She calls her a baby deer. That's how sweet this woman is. That was disgusting. Not to mention what became a floodgate opening of other people's terrible experiences involving one or both of these two women, Katie Kool-Lady, Fancy Fiction, Kathleen Monkman, Erin Rickards. Whatever narrative about me that Fancy and Kathy need to put forth, presenting me as someone whom they had to suffer and tolerate and whom they didn't want to receive communications from, and that I was some rando of that who bothered them endlessly to the point where Fancy couldn't breathe. And then I went off the deep end because they unfollowed or blocked me. See, all of that is provable. But she doesn't owe you all the proof. They know it. She needs to keep a little file. And when she finally is ready, carry her ass down to the police station and law enforcement is what she needs to do. But I digress. If that's what makes them feel good about themselves to present about me, then that's fine. Not how I recall things, but also not a hill I'm interested in dying on. See, I would die on that hill. I would absolutely die on it. You have no idea how I die. The people who enjoy my work on my pages and engage with me and communicate with me in DMs, direct messages, chatting, etc., give me inspiration and cherish them. They are jewels to me. They are why I create on my pages. And she does beautiful work, Mia does. I cannot imagine a universe in which I would not make, in which I would make fun of her followers and mock them for communication, their feelings with me. There have been a few who have sent excessive messages, and if it's ever too much, then I simply tell them that I am sorry I can't keep up with all the messages. Perhaps a little less frequency. Sorry, I've got a lot on my plate. Who doesn't? I have to say that. Thank you so much, and that solves the problem every time. I will add here that I never said that Kathy abuses her dog. No, that was me. That is very different from someone saying someone uses a shock collar on her dog or displaying the differences between a shock collar and a tick collar, which is what we did. Katie Kool-Lady took the video down because that's when we learn that we need to keep the videos. I've never published an image of Kathy's stepdaughter, nor have I, nor I've been privy to or part of anyone doing or not doing that. Furthermore, I've never provided any information about any form of animal welfare agency, nor did I ever suggest or instruct anyone to contact them regarding Kathy, because they wouldn't do anything. Deliberately conflating with me with other people, the purpose of misrepresenting my messages is problematic, isn't it? In addition, presenting oneself as a registered nurse without a valid nursing license is fraud and criminal offense, isn't it? Referring to someone who did that as fraud would be factually correct. I never said that Katie Kool-Lady was fundraising for J4DM, which is Justice for Dan Markel, Inc., making inquiries as whether or not she was fundraising based on Katie Kool-Aid's use of the image of Professor Markel with hashtag Justice for Dan Markel promotional banner on her BMAC, which is Buy Me a Coffee, financial donation solicitation site, combined with the fact that another creator who is extremely close to her had previously presented they were fundraising for Justice for DM, Inc. Well, clearly there was confusion, which prompted inquiries by myself and others. We are allowed to ask before we give our money to an organization, Kathleen. Any responses? The J4DM, Justice for Dan Markel, Inc., or the family may or may not have been provided upon learning that the public was confused as a result of Buy Me a Coffee promotional banner images and messaging can be answered by them and not me. We're allowed to ask before we donated a penny. You've proven yourself untrustworthy by the mere fact that you were an imposter nurse by calling me one. No, it's right there on the site, which I'm going to go to, just as a general reminder for the public. With that, I would like to say, make crystal clear that I would not be providing this clarification statement if it was my truthfulness alone that is continually being called into question regarding the emails. I do care that the continued doubling down calling Patty a liar is affecting her reputation, which affects her income and her livelihood. So I'm going to present a fact-based accounting of what transpired, as unfortunately, Fancy's recent live stream on 322, compounded by the ongoing narratives being promoted and supported by Fancy Fiction in the comments beneath that live stream, are fanning the flames of this situation on a daily basis. Fancy's live streams under the umbrella of clearing her name has resulted in placing me in a position that I neither expected to nor wanted to be put in, of needing to clear Patty's name. So I will provide here a fact-based synopsis pertaining to these emails for the purpose of clearing her name and clearing the air, as I cannot allow Patty to be accused of lying about this. Furthermore, I feel a huge sense of responsibility to do so on behalf of not only Patty, but also for everyone in the community, Jibs and Jabs, Allison, who has supported me and Allison throughout all of this. You also deserve to know what people whom you are supporting are not liars and are not misleading you about these emails. On 3/12/2025, I received an email from Fancy Fiction, which I did not perceive as a friendly in tone. Her email included my daughter's proper first and middle name. Without context, and closed with stating that if she didn't hear from me soon, then she would take that to be my answer. I had a lot going on and almost didn't even see her email, so the presumption of what my answer would be if you didn't hear back quickly was very off-putting. I responded to her and we communicated, but she and I have a different perspective of what transpired. So no resolution was attained. Nia is so much nicer than me. Fancy then presented her 313 live stream, during which she included inaccurate assertions about me and also went after Allison. And if Fancy wants to take those down, don't bother. We have them. As a result of that, I made a post expressing my feelings about that. Later, I could foresee that the negative direction of everything would just continue going. So sometime after I made that post, I reached back out to Fancy. Why not, right? With an offer to rebuild and do whatever I could to help bridge the peace and unity within the Justice for Dan Markel community, because Fancy, by her own name, says that she created the community. She was the OG. I made sure that the others in the community were well aware that I presented Fancy with this offer. Fancy outright rejected my offer, citing it was too late. Time's up. Because she'd already shared her truth. She also erroneously claimed that my peace offering email was sent before my critical post of her, when in fact, my email offer was sent sometime after that post. Fancy then proceeded to send me an email, which she presented a list of demands for me to comply with. I responded that I would comply with her demands, which I did immediately, and I concluded by telling her that I never wanted to see her or hear her again. Shocking. The next day, I opened my email account to find a new email from Fancy with a new demand, and this time was a deadline of 24 hours to comply. Now, if you received this is Patty's words, what would you think? Stranger, woman you never met, happens to be on YouTube, not a private person, sends you an email giving you 24 hours to comply or else. And yet, bigger names in this community keep these people on their show. I'm not putting them down. I'm not even naming them. I'm just hoping that someone in their community watches 1 minute of this and stops. Unlike the previous list of demands, this new demand was something that I could not fulfill because it required the deletion of an account I did not create. I didn't create it either. I'm an admin on it, and I will never take it down. Ever. They refused. I let Fancy Fiction know that I did not create that account, and therefore I did not have the ability to delete it. During the course of our exchanges, I sent Fancy an image containing her own words to me and how they presented. Fancy responded by mocking me and instructing me to publish the image. I did not publish the image because I felt it would be very damaging. Now that Fancy is on a daily basis via her 322 live stream, replay, and surrounding comments and conversations, continuing to present to her thousands, 9,300, upon thousands of viewers that Patty, Alice, and I are lying, I see no other option than to definitely remove the shroud. Upon learning from me that I did not possess the ability to delete the account, Fancy told me she didn't plan on releasing any personal information about me to the public, but warned me that if at any time she sees anything from me referring to this, she would reconsider following through with the threats of publishing my private personal information and private images. What I had already learned from my previous email exchanges with Fancy was that meeting her demands only leads to her sending me more demands. So what had happened, let's go over the timeline. Mia receives an email from Fancy because Fancy's losing her shit because I have a YouTube. And I will tell the truth. She don't like it. She's now going, all of these people, Allison, Mia, all of these people have received these emails. Allison was CC'd on this email. That's why there's more proof. You know who hasn't received one? Me. Because I will call you out in public. I work for myself, and I will call you out in public. And you know it. So you didn't do it. You went to the people who have more to worry about. They both have children at home. I do not. I have a business partner that supports me 100% whether you like it or not. I have clout in the town whether you like it or not. You didn't send me one, did you? You send it to Mia. You tell her to remove every phrase, everything that has to do with you. She's scared because her child. So she meets your demands. That wasn't enough though, was it? No. You come back and said, now I have a whole new list of demands. So here's where we are. I could not continue to ignore this. So I reached out to an entity in this community that I believe could be of assistance. The Gladiator. And then that was not effective. I reached out to Patty. I don't know who the entity was before me. Patty was extremely concerned, kind, and beyond protective of myself because I feel like some of this is my doing. When you take responsibility for something, you got to go back and back and back, right? So if you've ever been through it, which I think these two have never been through a responsibility exercise, you go back and say, what was I responsible for? I was responsible for the accident. We'll just call it a car accident. I was responsible for driving down the road that day. I was responsible for not making that stop sign. I was responsible for getting in the car. I was responsible for wearing the clothes. My foot slipped. You go back and back and back. And the ultimate responsibility. And it's an exercise to train your brain about responsibility. It's fascinating and a great learning experience. My responsibility came when, even though I knew Katie Kool Lady was a complete bitch, someone asked me to do something, hand her a piece of jewelry, I did it. Instead of saying, you know, she's a complete bitch, I don't think I should be doing that. I should have gone with my gut. I didn't go with my gut. That is my responsibility. And I take that very seriously. Will never happen again. Not in this mode. If I have a gut that says don't trust, don't do it, don't show proof, you're freaking cameras. Who the hell do you all think you are? Who follow this woman? Why would anyone do that? But that is my responsibility. Someone comes to me, Patty, I have something, I'm going to ship it up to you. You can have one, and then we're going to send it to the other people. Fine. Trial gets canceled. You give it off to True Lifestyles. Very gracious girl, woman, she's not girl, sends it off to this heifer, and it all falls down from there. It was my responsibility to not follow my gut that she was a bitch. In that way, I'm responsible for this, and I take it. So yes, I'm protective. And I don't care what y'all think. I really don't. I don't want someone's child, I'm consistent, to be harmed in any way because, and if anyone can see the irony in this, the Markel boys, come on. This woman, Erin Rickards, who's all about justice for Dan, fair play, that's her flag, will literally on camera say, I have a new photo of the Markel boys to prove she has contacts that I don't have. What kind of psycho is that? That you are going to take those boys and use them to try and prove that you're more important than me. Why would you do that? And in another, you got to gargle with some holy water, you little heifer, because in the other world, you're calling this girl's, who made you God? With someone's kids. You say you have boots on the ground following Wendy Adelson around? You're interfering with an investigation if this is true. You are interfering with these children's just going about their own lives. It never should come out of your mouth. You never should have said where they were living. Ever. I digress. Calling out this woman's child. So I'm very protective. No, my first marriage really ended badly. I was young when I married him and I was young when I divorced him. But what did not happen was someone threatened my kids because I would take a charge. Mia, she wants her privacy. Me, you did this to me, I'd be in California. You better leave my kids out of this. That's all I got. Allison had been, without my consent, CC'd by Fancy on the emails which contained highly sensitive, non-published images and material about me because Mia sent them to Kathy. Allison was also on the receiving end of a particular threatening communication via these emails, which I will not get into, but which I have stated. I have stated separately from this. Oh my God, here am I. Fancy said, How would your boss feel? What? Fancy said to Allison, how would your boss feel? Who does this woman think she is? Allison was also on the receiving end of a particular threatening communication via these emails, which I will not get into. And I am only addressing what is necessary in order to lay the groundwork of clearing Patty's name regarding her commentary about the situation. One might ask, why would I agree to meet Fancy's list of demands? That was me. I asked that. What did Fancy include and attach to the emails in order to elicit my compliance? Included and attached to the email were the following. A collage that Fancy Fiction Canva spent time and energy on compiling, consisting of private photographs of myself with my daughter, which I've never published anywhere on the internet. Can you even imagine? Or by anyone else. Fancy made the collage using photographs of myself and my daughter that I shared with Fancy back during a time I trusted her. She entrusted with private, non-published photographs of me and my daughter, which were taken in an intimate setting at our home. These images appear nowhere on the internet, nor on YouTube or any other platform. Fancy publicly disclosed information that was contained in these emails for days on end, advertising my image on her thumbnail. And she did, with a bar over the top. Private setting, which is a threat. That's why she did it. At our home, for the purposes of causing me public harm and humiliation, was extremely antagonistic, threatening conduct towards me, especially coming from someone who claims to have wanted the whole matter to go away. In the collage that Fancy created and included as an attachment to her listed demands, I have got to get this hair out of my face. I'm sorry. Ugh. Which she published for days on end. Fancy could have chosen to only attach photos and images of myself, but no, that wouldn't have been it, would it? What makes a woman move? A threat to her child, a cry from her child. Child needs fed, child needs. Fancy did not choose to do that. However, she did not eliminate my daughter from the photos. She left portions of my daughter visible, even though she could have cropped the photos to only contain my image. That's how nice Mia is being. What if she'd only done this? I would have gone. I can't. Although Fancy's obscured my daughter's face, she left my daughter's images visible in the photos. In addition, in one photograph, Fancy deliberately left my daughter's name very clearly visible and unobscured. Any parent would find this extremely troubling. I'm not her parent, and I find it troubling. My concern about this was punctuated by Fancy's reference to interference regarding any custody matters. Can you even imagine, you people that follow this woman? Can you even imagine? Also included and attached to the email was extremely personal, private, never publicly shared information about me. This information that I never shared with Fancy Fiction included childhood experiences that resulted in trauma that she received from someone else. One might ask, if I never shared this personal information publicly, it does not exist anywhere on the internet, and I never shared it with Fancy, then how would Fancy have it? How would she have been able to attach that information to the demands she emailed to me? Have you ever been mugged, raped, assaulted? Anyone here? Have you ever had to go to law enforcement and talk about that? Do you know most of those situations are never heard from by law enforcement? Because the humiliation that law enforcement, because they have to, because of statutes, drags you through to get justice, to have these freaks let out again. There is no justice right now. There wasn't 30 years ago. There certainly isn't now. And yet, here we are. One might ask, if I never shared this personal information, how did it get anywhere? How did it? This is where Katie Cool Lady, aka Kathleen Monkman Higgum, enters the picture. They're working in correlation. Katie Cool Lady, without my knowledge or consent, sent to Fancy Fiction confidential, extremely private, very personal information about me, including the nature of child abuse and trauma. And yet you all follow her. Which I've disclosed to Katie Cool Lady as feedback. Not my people follow her, but just this is YouTube in general. And in gratitude pertaining to my having participated in Katie's therapeutic anxiety response recovery series, during which she instructed myself and other viewers of her previous YouTube channel. I can't even say it out loud. You can read it. The heart space. KCL presented that she was extremely qualified to lead the series. How so? If someone's going to say that, shouldn't there be some, like, I know when I instruct someone in real estate, I got to show my license. Some people are, I'm just going to say it, me, naive and trusting. I am not. She presented herself. She was extremely qualified to lead the series, citing her career as a licensed massage therapist. Career stretch. Specializing in myofascial release techniques, MFR. During her anxiety response recovery series, Katie Cool Lady guided us and told us to release trauma stored in our fascia. She told us that we would shake, we would cry, and to let whatever happened in our body, to let it happen. She talked in a very soft, low, soothing tone. Creates trust, doesn't it? And Katie Cool Lady affirmed that we were safe. And protected. Katie Cooley went out of her way to create an environment that felt extremely safe, citing her credentials in myofascial release. I hope I said it right, Max. MFR specialist. Katie Cool Lady educated and guided us about abuse, injury, and trauma that is stored in the body and in the fascia, and then instructed us how to address it. Katie Cool Lady placed significant focus on trauma, as cult leaders do. I experienced relief as a result of Katie Cool Lady's anxiety response recovery series, and an expression of feedback and gratitude. For context, I included highly sensitive personal and private background information regarding some of the sources of my family history, childhood abuse, and trauma that were addressed in her series. The private personal information I shared with Katie Cool Lady was not shared publicly. It was not shared anywhere on the internet, nor in a group setting, but strictly via private direct email communications with Katie Cool Lady. Some of those private personal email electronic communications were copied and pasted to the bottom of the list of demands and were effectively weaponized against me by Fancy. I will leave it to the listener's imagination as to why I chose to comply with Fancy's list of demands. I think we all know why. And as to why I do not want this sensitive, extremely personal, and traumatic information made public, nor my private personal images of myself or of my family, and these are her facts. And for a brief moment, I'm going to go show you Arizona Nursing Board comes right up. Doesn't take much, dear, does it? Are we all lying? Can we all be lying? Cease and desist. Get used to those words, dear. The Board of Nursing has received information that you have represented yourself as a nurse, RN, or professional nurse in literature, articles, and marketing related to your practice at the Heart Space, located in Tempe, Arizona. As you're aware, your license expired in 1993. This is 2006. How much damage was caused between that year and that year? Can you all understand? 93 to 06. Doesn't mean it was the first time she did it, just means it was the first time she got caught. The Arizona Board of Nursing has found no evidence to support you have a valid license to practice nursing in Arizona or any other state. But here you are, representing yourself as a medical professional healing trauma. Now, if someone presented to you that they were a medical professional and had a career in healing trauma, what would you think they were doing? You would think they were a therapist of some sort, wouldn't you? I don't know. You know what I love about YouTube is they do respond to subpoenas. Everything is discovery, and discovery to me is fun. That is the most fun I have about a trial, reading the discovery list. It's like reading a trail of evidence. Doesn't matter if the defense wins or loses. I love that part. I immediately in the docket go to discovery. Boom. It's everything. Here's discovery. In a telephonic discussion with the board staff on or about 08, 09, 2006, remember her license, January 14, 1993. But she had a career as a psych nurse, right? Isn't that she tells everybody? She had a career as a psych nurse. I didn't even get my license till around that time. Of course, I'm much younger than this witch. In a telephonic discussion with the board staff, you acknowledged that you would use the title RN, although you were not practicing as a nurse, nor had renewed your license in several years, 13. At this time, you stated you would immediately discontinue the use of the title. But have you? Because you keep telling people you're a psych nurse. You were a psych nurse. A psych nurse, when someone tells me they were a psych nurse, I would think they were certified in psychiatric nursing, and I can find no reference that you were actually certified. Doesn't mean you weren't, just means I can't find it, in psychiatric nursing. And yes, I've called the board. I've called that board because that is what I do. I want to know if I'm going to say something out loud, will it be true? Will I be reversed? I don't know. So I always say that. It's too old for them to tell me. That's how long ago it was. Your license was so much older, they couldn't tell me that. They had no reference that you were certified, no reference that you weren't. It goes on with the statutes. There's 4. The Arizona Board of Nursing now demands that you immediately cease and desist and implying the public of Arizona that you are a nurse. So this is what she did then. She complied, but on this heart space bullshit business she had, she still put what she was entitled to. She always finds a loophole. She put BSN, Bachelor's Science in Nursing, on her door. BSN. You know why? Because it gave her gravitas. That's what it's called. I guess, fancy, she did it for attention. I hope one day you both meet the law enforcement that you deserve. I really do. Until then, civil court will be what I have to offer. And if you do come to the trial, both of you, I will call you out both in public. The lobbies, the rotunda, the parking lot. You happen to be walk my path, I'm going to tell people exactly what you are. I'm going to bring the proof that I just shared with everyone. And I'm not going to let it go. Not ever. No apologies, no assertions, no refutes, no rebukes. You can wish karma on anyone you want. I don't believe in karma. I don't care about karma. What I care about is the truth. I've shared with you all the truth. And if fancy Erin Rickards wants to come visit her mom and show up at the courthouse, that's fine. I don't care. But what I do care about is that you present yourself as the honest, lying thieves. And I mean thievery as in stealing someone's reputation that you are. So you won't show up because you don't have the balls. Because you know, of all of us in this J for DM community, I will do it. Won't even be a question. I'll walk up with a sign. Just a private little sign that I'll just carry around, walking up and down North Monroe. Try me. I have a sponsor. They'll print it. I despise you both. I think you're both a waste of flesh. I think that you would take someone's medical, personal trauma and use it to your benefit in any way. Makes you disgusting reprobate. If you're going to use someone's child in this because you don't have the balls to come to me personally, neither one of you do. You're reprobate. Look it up. I find you reprehensible, disgusting, and I have no filter. And I've already warned people today. I have no filter where you two are concerned. Show up here. I won't physically do it. I'll just carry a sign. This woman's a lying bitch. And here is why. KCL turns off her chat. She finally opened it for 2 days and people just powwow around her. And they're going to call me names and they're going to go to my website and they're going to give me bad reviews. And I don't care because once they put a review up on my website, I can respond. And I have. I don't care. You're not using someone else's child to get at me or Mia or Allison or anyone else. I'm not deleting a thing. I never do. I will never delete any of this. Send your minions after me. It's a promise. It's not blackmail, not a threat, not any of that. I will make sure I will find an attorney to get at you, to at least cost you thousands in legal fees. If nothing else, it will make me feel better. May not win, may not lose. But costing you money right now is the best thing I have. This is someone's child. Don't. I mean it. All I have is time. Thank you so much for watching. And go to my chat now. Because I'm very angry. I might have to take a minute. If there are any trolls, just delete them. I'm done with it. I'm done with people defending these fools. If they're going to be foolish, please block them. I should have prefaced that like an hour and 49 minutes ago. Remove them. Can't even get to the top of the chat. I'm sorry. I love the Twitter, so when you just click at the top, it automatically goes to the top. This didn't. I'm very sorry. Keep scrolling to new comments, and I can't get to it. It's a lot of chat. I'm apologizing. This is crazy. Okay, finally got to the chat. Hi, B Rabbit. Hey, Donna's Bread. I'm going to get to hi, Mia. Thank you, Mia. I'm sorry. I'm very red right now. I'm very upset. And I'm going to be honest with you. This was the first time I read it out. I read it. Mia had sent me different emails and threads, and I was very busy with work and couldn't get to it. So I asked her to send me one thing. And that was the first time I read it, was today. Hi, Wild Wild West. I'm not going to be able to say hello to everyone. Thank you, My Father's Alibi, for being here. I don't know if anyone was able to share your website, but I really appreciate it. Hi, great. Wild West Sides, I missed our chat. So just so much schoolwork. Schoolwork ends for me. I graduate May 1st. I have 2 associate's degrees on May 1st. I've done 2 curriculums at the same time. And so I still have work and family and my husband, and then Springtime Tallahassee. So it was just a lot this weekend. I had to build a website this week. I had to judge the parade. Like, it was a lot. Patty, I wonder where you were to cover Thursday's hearing. I'm very sorry I missed it. I said it in the beginning. I tried. I had to build a website for school. It was an e-portfolio. It's just a one-page website, but everything takes time, right? So everyone's saying hi, which is lovely. Why do you hit the like? Oh, hit the like, YB says. So funny. Hi, Fairy Glam. I need a psychologist right now. Hi, Moonchild. Ooh, hey, Max. Hey, Raven. Hi. Hi, John. I want to thank True Crime Metrics. He knows why. I just want to thank him. It's very nice of him to come to me. Thank you, Murder, if you're still here. You love the circus. You can juggle fire clubs and do Diablo. Well, I was able to bring my photos. Let's see, where is it? I think this is it. I'll show them after I've calmed down. I'll show you the beautiful videos that I have. Hi, Jeannie. I'm going to miss people. The parade was a ton of fun. I mean, they gave me a button that said judge. I wonder if I have it. Hold on. Did I bring all that in? Oh, no, I didn't bring that back in. We had bling. Remember the movie Waiting where you had flair? I had flair all over me. I had a badge. I had a pageant. It was so cool. Howdy, KCL and Fancy. Actually, they're really not. I mean, apology may help someone else, but it is never going to help me. Picture taking is an art. Helps to have a good phone. It does. Hi, Skeeter. I wanted to jump on and say hello. I won't be able to chat. Well, thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it. It's very nice support. Hi, Kimber. Hi, Lily. My dog named Bo. My son just got a dog today, James, who you've met. He got a dog named Pippin. Pippin is cute. It's a corgi. They did look like meringue. They're the cutest thing ever. YB, that has so happened to all of us. You take your oven door apart and you can't put it back. Is that a blouse? It's a blouse from Old Navy. It's a blouse. It's Mother's Day here in Scotland. Happy Mother's Day to Scotland. It's going to be late now. Had a fantastic day with my daughter and gorgeous grandson. They live at the beach. And their weather was gorgeous. Feeling very happy. Congratulations. Good for you. March is a tease. Yeah, I don't like it. We got hit with 2 feet of snow on Friday. I'm very sorry. It almost all melted. Oh, that's good. You don't like November either. Well, I like it here because of Thanksgiving. It's nice. It's Mother's Day in the UK altogether. Patty is out. Thank you, Ivy. It is. Hi, Bling. How are you? Bling is here. I think I got you a new client with Springtime Tallahassee. Thank you, Kimber. That's very generous of you. Thank you. Let's promote Patty. Thank you, Kimber. Melissa just came on, was trying to watch Miami Open Finals, delayed by the thunderstorms. Is Tallahassee getting rain all day? We've had rain. Eric Lieber said about the Henry Segura case, you can tell it wasn't gang related, as gang members may off the kids, but they would never fuck about the Oak One feng shui. I split my sides laughing. That's true. And guess what? So we mentioned it. We watched a little bit of the Henry Segura trial. It was dismissed. So Justice, the Innocence Project, Josh Dubin was mightily transformed out of town. Go away. Judge Lance Neff, congratulations. Thank you for dismissing that nonsense. Judge Lance Neff is also up. He is also going to interview for the appellate court. I'm still reading through. Patricia says it was a sunny day in the UK too. Good for you. Becky says, I thought you were brave. I didn't think it was brave. I just thought it was the right thing to do, but I appreciate the compliment. And had every right to turn Dan Rashbaum in. He did nothing to earn his paycheck. And honestly, it's a lesson for all of us. In every state in the union, it is the citizenry right to turn in attorneys for bad behavior and violating the statutes. It is not a secret police kind of thing. Mentor lawyer has no problem calling me out, saying I was ridiculous for doing so. Doesn't mean that the bar, the attorney license police, is going to handle what I wrote. It's not the point. The point is to make your voice heard. How do you know that they wouldn't have? You didn't know. Thank you again, Becky. Very nice of you. Yeah. KCL made some, she took it down because that's what she does. She makes arson, dirt, whatever. She looks like shit. The woman has aged 20 years and 6 months for real. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. She deleted her drunk videos. Everything. They delete everything. That's why we've learned, and I've shared with people how to download a YouTube video. Because even though YouTube has the download little 3 lines thing, it only downloads into their little portal to save. It doesn't download outside of YouTube. Yeah, Michael, from a decapitation to an arson type video. It is, I mean, I've had people call me today saying, Patty, be careful. I mean, what are these people thinking? Thank you, Melissa. She loves my storytelling. So funny. Jeannie, I dumped Kate, crazy, cruel lady, as a result of the actions that I witnessed for myself. It doesn't take much. People weird you out, you don't respond. I had this chick, I told you, this lady text me middle of the night. What the? About Karen Reed. No offense. My opinion of Karen Read is meaningless, whether I believe she's innocent or guilty. It is truly meaningless. I don't live in Massachusetts, as she so aptly and verbally pointed out. None of it matters. But I'm allowed to have an opinion. It doesn't mean it matters any more than your opinion matters. It doesn't mean we aren't entitled to one. Now, not everyone gets in front of a camera for 3 hours and espouses their opinions. It's probably not the brightest thing in the world for me to do it. I still do it. Mentor lawyer still doesn't. He didn't give a shit what I think. And that I admire. Why should he? I don't give a shit what he thinks. He's an attorney. I'm not, as the banner states. But that doesn't mean as a citizen you're not entitled to write to your senator, to write to your congressman, to write. This, let's see, local elections. I think it was March. Jack Porter, she's a socialist, / communist, by the way. She's tough communist. She can call herself a socialist all she wants, but she's really a communist. She's a city commissioner. She won with like 2% of the vote in the city, like nothing. So when you vote, that's when you have power. So they actually changed the primaries to when it would be more of more population actually vote. Because she runs like, now she acts like she had a mandate. She didn't have a mandate. She had like 12 people. It was more than that, but not much. So, I mean, like, it's not the general population, right? It's the primaries, not as many people vote. But the voting is what matters. Thank you, Melissa. I will go home. Go home soon. Fancy fiction is the OG. Like, you calling yourself the OG doesn't make you the OG. It just makes you silly. It makes calling yourself fancy because you're mocking. I thought this was clever. I thought her name was clever. Now I think she's just a disgusting tramp. I think she's just foul because she uses someone's child and personal information that she had a conversation with Kathleen Monkman on the phone or electronically to receive and said, you know what? That looks like a darn good idea. If I send this woman who doesn't really know me from Adam, I send her threats in an email, she's going to comply because I have her personal information. Who sits around at that table and says, this is a good idea? Really? I think we should all do this. What do you think, Kathy? I think so, Fancy. Let's do it. Our reputation means more than her child. Think about that. Trash. Watching our meltdown. Oh, and the whole drinking thing. If you don't want people to say you're drunk and drinking on camera, don't do it. It's that simple. Wear a bra, too. It's not very becoming at your age to not wear a bra. She did an entire video about being the OG. She since deleted it and denies saying it. That's my point. They delete everything they say and be like, you're crazy because it's not there. Really? Hi, Linda. Linda O'Gara. What a great name. And everyone don't usually say anything, but glad to see you live. Thank you, Linda, very much. It is very appreciative. Fancy also drinks in her channel. Somebody's got to be drinking to be asking, or Kathy contacting Aaron and being like, let me have every personal thing you have on this woman. Let me have it. So I can email it to her and give her a 24-hour notice. Let me ask ChatGPT what that is. Because there's been a little bit of debate in the circles who have, where is my chat? Who have talked about, is this extortion? Is this, why won't this open up? Oh, someone's calling me, but I don't know who it is. I'm not answering right now. Sorry. Let me see. Hold on. It won't go away. If you give someone personal information and then, what is the word? Uses it against you. The next step is a 24-hour notice to remove let's see, how do I say it? The chat would understand. Hold on one second. Giving someone a 24-hour demand with a threat to you personally. What is the legal, I asked Chet everything. Terminology for that. Because there was a debate. Is it coercion? Is it interference? It's extortion. I was right. To all you chatters out there, we've been chatting about this. It is extortion. I love chat. I pay for it. That's the 4-0. The most common term when someone demands something, money, action within a time frame under threat of harm, including harm, property, or reputation, is extortion. Definition: unlawfully obtaining something, typically money, but not always, through threats or coercion. Do this within 24 hours or I will hurt you. Criminal coercion is someone used in place of alongside extortion, especially when the demand isn't about money, but about forcing someone to act or refrain from acting. The use of threats to compel someone to behave in a certain way. If you don't drop the charges, I'll come after you. If you don't remove posts that you're not even responsible for, I'll come after you. Not only that, I'll come after your kid. I'll come after your child. Terroristic threats. Aaron, that's what I've been waiting for. I've been saying this is terrorism. If the threat itself is severe, it can be charged independently. If you're dealing with this and anyone else receives such communication but hasn't had the opportunity to afford me the opportunity to help you by making it public, if anyone else is receiving these emails from Aaron or Kathleen or anyone else, please email me at pattyisfunny@gmail.com. Jebby's on the beach. Good job, Jebby. I love that you're on the beach. I'm quite jealous of it right now. So sorry, but I'm just so pissed. I don't watch my videos over because I'm sure I got crazy eyes going on right now. But I am so, I don't even know how to say it, livid. Like, I am absolutely livid that anyone in YouTube would find any of this acceptable behavior. I question your maturity, if nothing else. It is really making me crazy to think, not crazy, but to think that I might know someone personally or in the realm of social media that would approve of this. And I mean, by approving of it, I mean liking, subscribing, Patreoning, and remember, KCL, Aaron, just because you have a Patreon and people pay you doesn't mean they can't see your shit. Because as many alternate profiles as you have, and I mean many, we're talking 20 plus profiles that Aaron has. That's a lot. When does she work? Kathleen ain't much better. And she needs to really wash her hair. I mean, there's a thing here where I don't like to make fun of people's personal looks, but you need to wash your hair. You're sitting in a turban, sitting in a robe, calling out me, calling out other people. They say you didn't know, wasn't personal, was personal, whatever. You didn't sleep in this woman's bed and bust the bed and say you barely knew her. Wash your hair. That's it. It's disgusting. You emailed her. If she's not looking, who are you talking about? Allison? I'm completely. Patty, please read. Someone needs to email me. Hold on. Oh, she's trying to get to my attention. Hold on. I'm busy ranting, Gladys. Where was she trying to get my attention? I'm very sorry. I don't see it. Mia. Can I do that? Can I do it on here now and go, Mia? I don't see what she wanted me to know. Hold on. This chat is going so fast. I'm going to go into YouTube and turn the chat down if you don't mind, because it's going too fast. I can't keep up. And I apologize, but the screen is just right. And how do I don't even know. Oh, they turned it on slow mode. Thank you. I can't. I was requesting. All right, let me go back to it because I don't know if I missed something. I'm sorry, Mia. Let me go to the back of it. Let me go to your statement again, okay? I haven't read the entire email. Hold on. The last thing I have. Mia, can you email me quickly and tell me what part I missed? Because I don't know what I missed. I'm sorry. Oh, wait, let me get to that receipt. I just saw that. I apologize, Mia. If she can quickly forward it to me, I don't want to mess up because there's been so many emails going back and forth. Thank you, Rosemary. That was you. Thank you. No, I did not answer. I didn't answer. I apologize. If somebody can tell me what that is, I don't know. I literally have so many emails, and I don't want to read the wrong thing because you've asked, you took out some personal information. I'm waiting. I'm on standby, dear. Does anyone have it? Max, do you have it? I have the latest two. Does it, Mia, does it start with I am here publicly? Does it start with that? Does anyone know? Oh, it does? Okay, thank you. I'm going to read it. I just wanted to make sure. Can I start there, or do you want me to start with what words that Katie Cool Lady, you emailed the portion where? Thank you. You just emailed it to me. Someone's calling me. Oh, it's my husband. Hold on one second. Hey, Chris, I can't talk right now, please. Hey, that's okay, dear. All right, talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye. Thank you to everyone who sent me this. Okay, let me share with you what it says. I'm going to put it in a YouTube doc, Google Drive doc, so that her information isn't shared. Okay. I apologize for that little bit of technicality, but the chat was moving so fast. I don't often have to slow the chat down, so I apologize for that. Mia goes on to say, I'm not a public figure. I'm not a YouTuber. I've not shared any photos or personal information about myself, my family, publicly anywhere on the internet. Despite the fact that I've chosen not to present any information about myself or my family, nor any images of myself or my family publicly, for reasons that are to protect the welfare, well-being, and safety of myself and my family, Fancy Fiction has let me know that even though I met all of her demands, if I speak on any of this moving forward, then she can change her mind and reconsider publishing my private, personal, non-public information, images of me, etc. As I mentioned here above, meeting Fancy's demands only led to her sending me more demands. That's what happens. It's why in the United States they don't negotiate. So with a hostage, right? They don't negotiate. So they're holding me a hostage because the others of us will not comply. As I mentioned here above, meeting Fancy's demands only led to her sending me more. So I'm hoping that this community makes it loud and clear that this type of coercive control and manipulation tactics will neither be tolerated nor rewarded. If Fancy is able to successfully manipulate me by using tactics, then we all know it doesn't end with me. It just begins, and nobody will be off limits. It is confounding to me how anyone continues to demand that others keep her name out of their mouths while she's simultaneously filling her mouth with their names. Not very logical. Fancy does this to repeat every time her unrevised 322 live stream is played. And with each view, Patty's reputation and livelihood is compromised. I've always maintained that Fancy brings an enlightening and valuable perspective to the coverage of the case of Professor Markel. I am in no way trying to impede her from doing that. I sincerely hope that she does not continue doubling down on this matter, which will only devolve into a continuous back and forth of people defending their truthfulness. I am not a public figure. No images exist of me anywhere on the internet, nor does any private personal information. Regarding her MFA therapy practice, myofascial something, Kathy stated, I realized I had a secret weapon. I could get people to trust me very quickly. Truer words have never been spoken. I would like for Fancy to rest assured that whatever you will seek to attain with these threats and attachments, you have more than achieved it. I have met all your demands. Please let that be enough and stop inflaming the situation. I am here publicly instructing that both Fancy and Katie Cool Lady, whether using these monikers or any other names, and there are many, they go by, never publish any images of me, private, personal, intimate details, and accountings about myself, my childhood, my past trauma, past abuse, my family history, residences, information about my family members, my education, which were obtained by Katie Cool Lady when I believed that she was a healer. Operating the capacity of myofascia released specialist. She was not licensed to do this. Using her previous YouTube channel as a platform to which she guided me and others through her intimate course on how to manage and release, which guides me and others through, intimate stored trauma within the body. I am requesting the same of any other information that Fancy, Fiction, Aaron Rickards, Katie Cool Lady, Kathy, Kathleen, Monkman, Higgum may seek and obtain pertaining to anything related to me and or my loved ones and family members. I am instructing that these two women please do not speak or write about me again. I will do the same in return. It's quid pro quo, equilateral, and fair. And thank you to everyone who has shown me kindness and support throughout this. I appreciate you. Thanks for your time and your consideration, Mia. I am not her. Tater says, go Mia. It's not easy to do this. It's not easy to repeat it, but it's not easy to do it. It's not easy. She could have just gone and been like, Patty, please take it down. Please take it down. I can't tell you what. Please take it down. But she told us the truth. And for that, I believed her. I didn't get receipts until this week. And I still believed her. Because how vulnerable a person was Mia to say she is threatening my child. Now let's go back to the Adelsons. Sigfredo Garcia did the shooting. Lewis drove. Charlie's responsible for it because he paid for it and found someone to be the connector, Catherine Magbanua. Fancy's the one who wrote this. Who gave the information? Who's the link? Murder in the Bible is a variety of different methods. There's 10 commandments, right? Thou shalt not bear false witness. You don't have to murder someone by just stabbing, shooting, any of the above. You can murder someone by abuse, rape. Trust me on that. Rape is a life of dealing with that kind of trauma. Sexual abuse, same thing. It's internal for women. It's internal. So, no, Mia wasn't obliterated in her garage. But you don't think what just happened to her was Fancy and Katie Cool Lady wasn't traumatic? To risk her daughter with people who have no filter. How is that different? How is that not some level? It's a crime on the superficial side. Not that law enforcement in its current state would ever fucking do a thing about it. But it's still a crime, even if it's not charged. If you send someone an email and give them a demand notice, they're in line, it's a crime. How is that different? Let's pretend a murder was planned, but they didn't actually commit the murder. Still a crime, isn't it? People all the time plan their ex-spouse's demise, whether electronically or in person, still a crime. The threat to hold someone hostage is a crime. Holding them hostage is a crime. It's multiple crimes. This is across the state. I don't know where Mia lives, but probably not California. Probably not Pennsylvania. So if you do this and you send these things, that's FBI worthy. You know what I'm saying? Doubt they're creating a team. But there's a reason why Kathleen Monkman says the FBI is investigating me. Because she does shit like this. Across state lines and electronically. She's nervous. That's why she's putting it on me as if I'm doing it. It's her. When people say things like that, they are projecting. Don't send emails to people with threats. I'll tell you in a video, I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it. You think I'm not going to go to an attorney about what you all have said? Of course I am. It's in recording. You recorded it. It's easier. You don't get to do that to someone. And you don't get to use their child to meet your demands of your shitty ass reputation. You don't. You shitted up your own reputation. If people don't like my language, they choose to not tune in. I've had people, why do you swear, Patty? Because I feel like it. It helps me reduce stress. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to watch it. I completely get it. I respect the choice. But if you make threats electronically via email, it goes one state to another, that is FBI. Again, not that they're going to pertain to it, not that they're going to care, because I don't believe they do give a shit. I think they should. It's like when I was told here, girl threatens me from the buyer chose not to buy her house. I had the buyer. She threatened me because I had the buyer. She didn't threaten the buyer, she threatened me. Makes sense, right? Like, it's not my money, dumbass. Call law enforcement. Is she right in front of you? No. Basically, we don't care. Thank you so much for playing. Thanks for the call. Here's a case number. We're not doing anything with it. Never. Never will. Stupid. Like, why have a statute? Well, some people aren't like me, and I respect them, and I respect their choices. They don't want to be humiliated in front of law enforcement because, frankly, it is humiliating to go to law enforcement and say I was mugged. I was robbed. Recently, there's been a string of crimes at the Publix here in Tallahassee. No one really knows about it, but I'm going to tell you all about it. People are coming up to people They're putting groceries in their car and they're stabbing them. It's not in the news, but I know it's true. One person knows how to use a weapon. She told the fool, you've met the wrong lady. You're going to get what you've got coming. She went in and told the Publix manager and he laughed at her. That's why I know this is true. Then there were a couple other strings. Why go to law enforcement if they will not help you? Why go to the manager if they will not help you? Mia probably already knows the results of this, so she's choosing not to do it. And I can't even blame her. But what I can tell this woman is if you show up at the trial, this isn't a threat, you can come. I welcome you. Because I would love nothing more to embarrass you in public. Nothing more. It would be fun. I wouldn't even go in the courtroom afterwards. Probably because I would be banned. But I have no problem standing outside of the courthouse on a public sidewalk with a sign saying Aaron Rickards is threatening children. It's easy. Like maybe a 4x8 sign. I don't even know. I'll get them professionally printed and handed out to all the homeless people that walk up and down the courthouse. Like, I think it's a good idea. I'm telling, like, as soon as I see, I'm very big on very free speech. But anyone in that Reddit who comes in and defends, we just have to ban them. I give you all permission. I will not include their verbiage in my world or Mia's world or Allison's world or anyone else's world who has common sense. I don't watch a lot of other YouTubers anymore just because, thank God, work is busy. And I implore, think about who you have on. I know no one does background checks. No one checks. No one checks at all. But think about who you have on before they want to talk about justice for any person instead of justice for every person. Doesn't make sense to me. But you know, you all do you. It was in an email, hey Mona, which I read earlier. Let me show you the graphic again. Because this is, you know, some people don't want to watch me for 2.5 hours, shockingly. Shockingly, you do not want to watch me for 2.5 hours. Let me see, is this so? Oh, yeah, here we go. I'll just leave this up right here. Especially when any custody issues you may or may not have. It's just, it's exhausting. It's exhausting to be threatened all the time. KCL, copying and pasting to fancy fiction. Privately shared traumas to add to fancy's threat. Both women are sick. Yeah, we should all have t-shirts that say I'm the OG. Hi, Wesley. I know it sounds psychotic for me to be like so pissed and then say hi. I get it. Mia says, I would not have had to address this if this was not inflamed on replay double down daily by Fancy to thousands and thousands of viewers. I could not let Patty's reputation to continue to be damaged. Well, thank you, Mia. I'm a big girl, though, but I do appreciate it. I appreciate everyone's support. I think it's absolutely confounding. And it's just like yesterday, I was so taken aback by the beauty of Tallahassee that I don't always get to see because of living in Tallahassee. Allison's done nothing wrong. Mia's done nothing wrong. And I've done nothing wrong. My wrong was handing a necklace to True Lifestyles. That's where my wrong started. That's it. And because of that, all of these people were hurt. It's unbelievable. Really is. It's unbelievable how the process of taking a gift and handing it off to another person who's completely innocent, who then handed it to that witch, is just it's I don't even have the words. I don't even have the words for it. And to see all of these people hurt in the meantime. Debbie, Martin, all of them. Rochelle, Crime and Coffee, Jibs and Jab. Whoever doesn't appreciate the content of these two content creators will suffer the consequences. Can you even imagine? It is YouTube. I really have no idea how they say we inserted ourselves. What? It's a public forum. It's free. I am not Donna. I am really crying and I'm very sorry. Imagine Fancy sitting there spending moments of her day arranging photos of Mia's child and herself, creating a collage on Canva. Can you even imagine? Thank you, Wesley. Yeah, sure, FBI focuses on online crime, but it's still humiliating to take this and give it to law enforcement to then have to disclose who you are, what your child's name is, and all the above. I do know that people have shared it with Markels, and it's really unnecessary. I don't want that. The trial's coming up in a very few weeks. It's unnecessary. They have enough. I'm sure they're aware of who they had dealt with, and you just got to pray for Mrs. Markel or Ms. Markel and then Phil Markel and the family. You just have to pray for them because it is a long road to hoe. And I cannot imagine. Jody Lang, I don't know. I don't know who her source is. I find it, I would think that if anyone chooses to moderate for Fancy, typically they all tune in to anyone Fancy mentions because it's a call to order. It's a call to order to say, take down their channel, take down their Reddit, take down their business, take them down. She orders you to take them down. So if you're An attorney who follows her. Come on. Jesus said, if you think about someone in anger and hatred, you've already murdered them in your heart. Well, I think about them in anger right now. So I'll deal with that. It's a penance service this week. I will deal with that with the Lord. But right now, I'm enraged. So I'm just going to enjoy my anger. Because I really do. I mean, like, it's all I have right now. It is. You're trying to take down my business. Trying to take down this girl's child, which is more important than my business. Come on. Yes. RC, yes. There is only one way that Fancy, with her email, we knew her email. It's not the same email that you think about. And then there's IP addresses that come from those emails. I know who it is. And I am not law enforcement. Thank you, B Rabbit. I appreciate what you're saying. Making demands can often be interpreted as a weakness. Well, it takes a coward to do it because she can't stand up for herself. Her content doesn't suffice. So she's got to threaten people. Instead of fixing the content, let me just commit a crime. Allegedly. Coercive control and blackmail. Thank you, M. Christine. I don't know, Tater. Thank you. I'm sorry, Mia. I'm glad I got it. Thank you. You've been blocked. Gina says, I've been blocked on the DMN, which is the Dan Markel murder Reddit thread. I have left multiple comments on our lives. Sorry. Hold on. And even a nice on Crazy Cruel Lady when she finally turned her comments back on. I'm sorry I missed that, Mia. I'm going back through. Multiple online personality disorder. Oh, man, you have no idea. I mean, we're talking like dozens. Both of them. Am I wrong, Georgia Peach? Thank you. I'm like, wash your hair, girl. How bad is your life? You have a great life, Kathleen. And yet you want to wreck it. You want to wreck whatever crappy credibility you have. And you want to wreck it by sending personal information to other YouTubers. What a cunt. I know no one likes that word in the United States, but frankly, what a bitch. She was mean to me. She doesn't want to follow me. She made a nasty post. Let me send her whole life to this other stranger in California. Can you even imagine? Someone called me today and said, Patty, you got to watch out. I've gotten those calls before. And I was like, what? What did I do? What did I do now? No. You got to watch out. Kathleen Monkman made a video yesterday about arson. You just got to watch out. She has the money to do whatever she wants. She inherited it. She didn't work for it. Lord knows she lies about what she did do for a living. So she has all the money in the world. She's worried about me in Florida. You know why? Because I will tell you the truth. KCL and Fancy will go apeshit on you if they knew this. Oh, Carm. Yeah, I didn't want to say their name. I just couldn't believe that someone would go on a live in a drunken state. She was drunk. Thank you, Cindy. Everyone saw her face. Fancy was sitting in the same gallery as me. You can't be on court TV and then say, don't show my face. No one is taking you seriously at this point. Kathleen Monkman, I'm a private person. No, you're not. You asked for a media pass. You asked for a media pass. Your name is on that. When was it? I asked for the media pass in 7/23. Hold on. So I asked for a media pass, and they told me no need to get a media pass. Let me see if I have WCTV in here. Found it. I want to not give everyone else's email out. I got to figure out how to do this. Here's email dated 09/06/2024. You're going to have to believe me. Below is the contact list of the upcoming Donna Adelson trial in the Second Judicial Circuit Court of Florida. The trial will be in CR Courtroom 3G. Jury selection will start on Tuesday, September 17th. Poll cameras can be set up on Monday, the 16th at 8 a.m. And here we go. Katie Cool Lady at .com. Monkman, Higgum, Kathleen. Let me show you this. I'm doing this on the fly, and I'm trying to avoid everyone else's email. So let me do this. This is her asking for a press pass. Private people do not get press passes. They just don't. Sorry. She even bragged about it on one of her shows. You know that, right? She bragged about it. You got to give your real name to the courthouse when you do this. Gigi asked for a press pass. Let's see who else. Mentor Lawyer asked for a press pass. I asked for a press pass. True Crime News asked for a press pass. Who else? Surviving the Survivor had a press pass. That's it for YouTubers. You're not private if you're media. You don't get both. It's true. They glob on to the Markells like ghouls and then proceed to commit some of the same acts as the people who, Dan Markel, conspiracy, alleged at best, the triad. Let's talk. We don't talk to each other, but yet in the next video say that's all they do is talk about us. And then send an email. Come on. It's like It's like Wendy Adelson deciding she's shaman, right? Mia says, like I said in my statement, I was not going to address it because she wasn't. Even though we said, please address it. Not even about me. I didn't. Please address it. Please address it. Then I thought, well, let's give Fancy the benefit of the doubt. It's been 5 months. She hasn't had a YouTube. It's been 5 months. She spent all of her time bitching about me, bitching about Mia, bitching about other people. Patty had a great name. Patty had a great name. I didn't like Patty's numbers. I gotta admit, I was like her numbers. Patty's saying things about me that just isn't true, but is it? Patty she just thinks she has all the sources. Meanwhile, she doesn't have the sources. Does she have the sources? I have the sources. You know why I have the sources? Because I still have a relationship with the Markells. So I have the sources. Do you? Are the Markells telling you where the Markell grandchildren live? Isn't that hard to believe? Donna's brother wasn't mentioned in Donna's father's obituary. So that rift was long before the Markells came into the picture with the Adelsons. So would any of the Markells really known about the rift since we know Donna's and know, Bibber? Donna grew up in a 2-story walk-up. Not New Rochelle. Did she tell you she grew up in New? I don't know. I've said before, you could be right, I could be wrong. I just know where my paper trail leads. Your paper trail leads to the same place that Katie Cool Lady took you. Do you really want to believe that? Truth, what was his name? I can't remember. The society page did never commit a crime. You know why? I know that. I know he never committed a crime. You know why I know that? Because Katie Cool Lady told me. Katie Cool Lady told me he never committed a crime. But you know who did commit a crime? Patty. Did she though? Let's take a look. There's a reason why I didn't get my shit expunged. Because if you get your shit expunged, you can't defend yourself. That's why I didn't get my shit expunged. So I'm going to show you my shit. Was it? I had to think my name at the time of the crime. Okay. This is my docket. Criminal use of personal ID information, someone's password. In this case, the password was given to me. In this case, I used the password to go into an email of the password I knew. You know why I knew it? Because I was married to him. That's why I knew the password. Wasn't really a secret, but I was no longer married to him. What I didn't know was that that was a crime. I didn't know it was a crime. I bet all of you didn't know it was a crime. It's a crime. It's a felony, 3rd degree. No idea. Offense against a computer user. Same thing, just different words. Personal ID information. That's it. That's all it was. It was a domestic issue. It was my ex-husband, and it was a password. Now, did I commit cyber stalking? No, because I knew where he lived. I knew his email. I knew his password. I used the password. Can't use the password when it's not your password. Just like can't use someone's medical information, Kathleen, when it's not their medical information. Bonded out. Oh, They were going to arrest me before Christmas, but I had Tim Jansen as an attorney. And Tim Jansen talked to the state, and the state said, we don't arrest her before Christmas, but she is going to be arrested after Christmas because my ex-husband was a knob. So this is what happened. Arrest affidavit, notice to appear, plea hearing set, surety bond discharged, charges were dropped. Got it? Did anywhere in here anywhere in there do you see that I was convicted, sentenced, paid a bond? Absolutely not. You don't see it. You know why? Because it didn't happen. But let me tell you who did. Let me go. One day this week, I was like, a couple weeks ago now, wasn't this week, right? Wasn't this week. But I was like, why is Fancy lying about me? That's always my cue. Why is someone lying? What about that? What about something I've done or haven't done? Tick the box for them. Now, I told her I knew this information, but I didn't make it public. She has since made it public. She has since made it about a boyfriend. Some boyfriend who may or may not have died in a car crash. So it can't be validated in any way, right? No name of a boyfriend, just a boyfriend. So during this boyfriend, she was an adult. At 19, you're an adult. Here's it. Petty theft, 01. Trial intervention. She had Dean LaBouffe as her attorney. Case created. It's long ago, so you can't pull it up. I tried. Written plea of not guilty. Jury trial discovery, so she's familiar with the concept. Private attorney, Dean LaBouffe. He happened to be my ex-husband's attorney. They had pretrial conversion or whatever it's called, diversion fee. She didn't pay it till 17. What? $150 she paid. Don't know what she stole. Don't care. She was convicted. I was not. That is the reason I have never expunged my arrest. That, it gives me some street cred. Hi, Rebecca. For the record, I'm not getting it. I'm not gonna show that. I'm sorry, True Crime. It's not part of my show today. I apologize, but thank you very much for coming in. I'm serious. Like, then we have the Reddit. Let me show you the Reddit. I think it was in the detention center. I think I managed to save this. I did. Did I save her comment without? I'm looking. I'm sorry. When did she come into the detention center and she didn't? I forget what it was about, but then she went on this tirade about how I was an adult and that I had been strip searched for some reason. She decided I had been strip searched. And so she has made herself, you know, I'm sorry, I'm looking. So hard to search in their phone now. Oh, I found it. Craig Isom is still alive. That's what it was. I found it. I screenshot it just in case it goes away. It was actually in the Dan Markel Justice. Craig Isom is still alive. Boy, that set her off, didn't it? So when I say something, I always try to like, I don't know if I'm right. Not fancy. No. She gets very, very upset. So someone in this chat had said something about Craig Isom, and there's 2 Craig Isoms in Tallahassee, believe it or not, right? One passed away. He was a security guy. The other one was very much alive, and he was a detective who interviewed Wendy Adelson during the investigation for the murder of Dan Markel. Right? We all know that. We all know it here. Boy, that fancy got really upset. Let me find it. God, where is it? I took a picture of it, even if I don't find it. Oh. Because she went back and edited it. That's why I was like, oh, no. Here you go. Here, I found it. Just takes me a little bit of time. Fancy writes 18 days ago, you are a distraught person. I feel bad for you. You'd think that if you were a pillar of the Tallahassee community, a churchgoer, a grandmother, and a widely successful professional and local radios, you'd be too busy to run a petty hate and bullying subreddit. I'm never too busy. I shoplifted when I was 19, and it was the best lesson. I was bored, so I just took other people's belongings. Kind of like an email. And a teenager. But you're not a teenager now, are you? You're 44. And never did it again, but did you? I think you did, because you took someone's email and you used it against them. I take a stock in that lesson it taught me. Do you? I was never handcuffed. I was handcuffed for like 5 minutes. Praise the Lord. I mean, it's fine. Strip searched. I was never strip searched or taken to jail as a grown woman. I wasn't taken there. I had the opportunity, thank you to Tim Jancis, of appearing in my own I'm like appearing, like turning yourself in. That's what I did. Or cyber stalking my ex-husband. Never did it. And father of my children. How dare she? She has no problem throwing someone else's children around, does she? Nothing that serious. Nor did I ever put other innocent lives in danger for driving drunk. Like your maybe other charge as a grown woman. Maybe. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Need to refresh on that. When I became an adult, I behaved like an adult. Did you? I wish you peace in your life. Do you? You don't. Everything you say is a lie. Just like in court, one lie, all lies. I hope you can move on from this one day. I will not engage with you going forward. Really? I would love to know the first date of the email to Mia Wallace. I hope you can move on from this and sees. Then she goes back and edits. So that's when I was like, you're blocked. Because you go in and edit what you say. What was the date? I wonder. What was the date? Anyone know? Because this was 18 days ago. So give it the 12th, somewhere in there. I know for me, one of her, I think her comment was 3:15. People have a right to defend their reputation. I will say I've never committed theft, petty theft, or otherwise. Thank you, Robin Hood, but your name is Robin Hood. When this first came out, Mia wouldn't share with me the receipts or the emails or the DMs. She literally wrote me and said, I don't share other people's information, until she had no choice because the emails from Fancy kept coming. So on that note, I'm really tired. It's been a really long year and a half. I want to share with you some of the video I made from yesterday, if you don't mind, because it was just lovely. It was the most amazing day I've had in so long. The welcoming I've had and experienced, I can't even begin to tell you how fun yesterday was. Was this going to play? This is incredible. This is the group that won. This was the 20th century. I shared with you that on Springtime Tallahassee, they split it up, and I'm going to mute myself because you don't need to listen to me. Hold on. You mute myself. Because I was so in awe of the whole thing. The marionettes was only that short. Was it really that short? 5 seconds. So that guy right there, he goes, "Hey, Patty." I was like, I still don't know who was under there, but he knew me. Just incredible. Like they got baton twirlers. It was incredible what they had out there. Let me see if I have any more. I wish they'd posted on their site now. My hand's in the way, sorry. Look at that. So right there, they had a girl on a swing. They had the circus ring. She's on a trapeze. They had the marionettes. They had roller skaters in the, I mean, it was just amazing. Clowns, everything. Look at that. It was crazy. The history of the flying circus. Look. Just craziness. So fun. So they won, and I think rightfully so. See if they posted it yet. I don't know what takes them so long. It's not like they have to rest. It was even nice to be asked to be part of it. It was really nice. Here was a friend of mine's crew, another real estate agent. They were war and reconstruction period, and they did shamrocks and shenanigans. Very fun. They had a bar. I could have used it. They just had everyone had so much fun. It was such a great day because they always cancel the parade if there's, I'm going to tell you, I think Rebecca said this troop, these girls want absolutely beautiful. Bob Lucatordo was the Grand Marshal. He's been a long-time weatherman here. So enthusiastic, super fun. That's Susie Mazolik. She's a funeral director. The light to any room. Truly the light to any room. She knows I told her. She knows everyone because she's buried everyone. Look at that. So exciting. Do they have any more? The Lofty Band. There's a restaurant here called Lofty Pursuits, and they have their own band. Just great people. Everyone just had so much fun. Oh, I won't show those kids. Oh, here.
Festivities are kicking off. We're at the Float party on Thursday night. I'm looking forward to a whole weekend. I still can't believe they asked me to be Grand Marshal. Nobody important must have been available. I'm thrilled to be available. The Springtime people, they work so hard all year. These are the main floats, and the crews put so much work in.
I'm going to turn this. I don't know about they may make me, because of the copyright, because of a song. I just want you to see what he's showing you. So let me go back. So that was the shenanigans, and this was the Spanish crew. Everybody wants to play music. Joe Nichols was here in town. Here's the Filipino organization.
We are live.
I want you to know I'm the worst judge in the world when it comes to this stuff. Here they are. Here's the girls. Look at that. The Azalea Trail, they called it. Oh, this is the teddy bear run where they're handing out gifts to the kids. This was an out-of-town crew, and they had fire. Just so... Ugh. Law enforcement. There's Bob Nicotola again. It was such a perfect day. I can't. Here you can see that that's the Shamrocks and that's the Spanish crew. They put all this together in 9 months. It's fantastic. What a great day. I just want to thank them all for inviting me. It was an opportunity at Living Tallahassee and Patty's Playhouse with all its faults. It's a huge blessing. So is this. With all of its faults, being on YouTube has been far outweigh the grief that those two bitches give me. Far outweigh for me, because my child isn't involved. The grief far outweighs. I mean, this has just been such an amazing opportunity. It has afforded me additional opportunities that people aren't even aware of that are coming soon. And who knew? Who knew that this shy woman could sit in front of a camera for 3.5 hours and rant? Who knew? I have a new sponsor, which I won't announce now because I'm crying and that's not fair. Bling is the new black already. I mean, it's just amazing the opportunities I've been afforded. Then I just thank you all. I'll be back tomorrow or the next day, one of the two. I just have this work to do. And I will not let them shut me down or turn off my voice or create animosity among my own family or my real life friends or my YouTube friends. I will just not allow it. And I hope that people know I truly care about them. Even though I've not met them, I truly care about Mia. I truly care about Allison. And everyone else who has fallen in the trail of these two decrepit humans. True Lifestyles. Anyone else that has fallen, Debbie, anyone else who has fallen because of them, just know I truly care about you. I may not always be able to respond to you because I have piles, literally. Let me see, I want to show you. I mean, no, it'll change the camera, but like piles of work sitting in front of me. Let me show you I'll create a little photo. Like piles. I have eggs still to stuff for church, like so much. But this was really important for me to do today, and I'm very grateful for your time. I really am, everyone. And I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to you all in the UK. And just thank you. Thank you very, very much. I'll read your comments later, but I'm reading a little bit of it, and it's getting me emotional, so I don't want to do that. I feel like crying on camera is just as bad as drinking on camera, okay? But I do want to thank you. Kimber, thank you so much. It's very nice of you. I really appreciate you. My father's alibi, thank you. Thank you. My husband's asking if I'm okay. Max, thank you, and thank you for your support. I really appreciate it because Max gives me the cliff notes. Mia was writing me. I was like, unfortunately, I want to be able to do this, but I can't do it well. So could you give me the cliff notes? And I had to take my truck to the dealership, and Max helped me get through the cliff notes. So thank you. I was sitting here waiting for my ride. Thank you very much. Beach Bum, thank you so much. Everyone who sends me a text message, I mean, people don't realize when you offer those kind of things, not just financial, which is appreciated always. Just Me Joe, thank you very much. When you just send someone and know that they can't respond to you, not necessarily right now. Just Me Joe, what did that say? Replace my budget. I just appreciate you. 99 cents. If anyone would take any of their money and share it with me for whatever reason. God. Just thank you. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you.